Hey everyone, it's Alvaro. I am here in Ciudad de Mexico, Mexico City, with Yaxkin, better known as Dr. Urei, for all my New Jersey friends out there, New Jersey garage sessions, Greg and Snoop. This is the man. I'm finally here meeting him in person. So it's a great honor to finally meet you, Yaxkin.
Well, thank you, thank you for having me in your channel, your space.
Thank you very much for making the time. We landed yesterday. I got a little glimpse of what the music here in Mexico is going through some of the record stores. For me, coming from Ecuador, you know, it always brings me joy to come back to areas like this, because one thing about music, our radio stations, they play a vast majority of music is not like segregated like New York stations where you only have one station for hip hop, one station for rock. Here, all the stations play a little bit of everything. You know, you're hearing a little bit of rock, you're hearing also a little bit of pop, you know, maybe some high energy from back in the day.
Yeah.
And that's what I love, because that's kind of what we grew up. And even coming in the 70s to New Jersey and New York, you had stations like WKTU where there was, you know, more to offer a listener. So enough for music right now. I want to highlight the name of Dr. Urei, a little bit about yourself for those who do not know you, Yaxkin, because we had a prior conversation and, you know, a lot of great stories. So give us a little bit of a background.
You know, the name Dr. Urei just came for a friend. He obviously had a Urei mixer. And, hey, can you fix my Urei because I have those issues, blah, blah, blah. And I'll say, okay. Hey, you're just like kind of doctor. You're like Dr. Urei. And it sounds nice. I was like, okay, I think I need to take it. It was very funny because there's no type, there's no font for the Urei.
Yeah.
It was created by, I think, the Universal Audio guys or whatever. I just tried to make it in Photoshop.
Oh, okay.
With a very low quality image that I have, and I was like, okay, here's the Dr. Urei. It looks nice. Okay, let's move forward with it.
So you've been using that name on your DJing as well, or just
no,
just for the Ureis?
Just for the Ureis.
Okay.
Just for the Ureis. Everybody knows me. That my real name is Yaxkin, with Yaxkin. But I think that everybody knows me as Retro Disco because that's my alias.
Okay.
And it was very funny. It's another friend that he was not in the 70s. And he knows that I have a lot of 70s records. And when I was playing them, you know, that record sound like music for porno movies from the 70s. You should know retro porn star. Or like retro porn star. That's not. I don't like that thing. I mean, like retro disco, it's better.
Yeah.
So my second name is Restrepo. Restrepo is from Colombia.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, that thing's retro disco fits better.
Yeah.
And it stays. It was like in the 90s.
Wow.
At that time. Yeah. There's a lot of records before that had happened my name. And after that, I start playing, type in my name, Retro Disco, instead of Restrepo.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's a story. That's
how the name came.
That's how the name came.
So
That's right.
Your friend had a Urei, and you've never opened the Urei before prior to this?
No. I already opened them, and I fixed them.
How did you get started in that?
Like natural, because
Okay.
I already have my own. And
so your first mixie was a Urei?
yeah, it was a Urei, but a friend of mine is an engineer, and he told me, okay, I can make like make it better. Well, it's possible. Oh, yeah, sure, but he's more into synthesizers. This guy can fix any synthesizer, and he had a vast collection of synthesizers.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we're talking about rare ones.
Okay.
He had Yamahas, Oberheims, Prophets, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we went to school together,
Okay.
so we're close friends. And he started teaching me some stuff about it. Okay, start learning, because I'm not an engineer.
Right.
First of all, I'm not an engineer, but you know,
You wanted to learn.
Yeah, I want to learn, and I'm always learning. I mean, I had a lot of B-sides that people don't know that I know how to do. For example, I can, set up audio equipment and
Right.
stuff like that,
Right.
or design crossover networks, stuff like that. That
Nice.
people say, "You know that?" Yeah, I know, but I learn, and I read a lot, and it fails at the beginning.
Yep.
You do everything wrong, but
Mhm.
And with the Urei it came easy because it's very basic mixer.
Yeah.
Not complicated.
It's not complicated, but you have to know what you're doing in that mixer because it is sensitive in a way. If you do not know what you're
Exactly.
doing, you can mess it up.
Yeah.
Even more.
I know, and at the end, I think if you have a Urei mixer, it's because the sound.
Absolutely.
And if you altered that, example, a lot of Ureis that came for repair have very bad equipment pieces,
Yeah.
or sometimes it was an emergency and they do something inside that was like, oh my god, what they do here?
They try to fix it
They
themselves.
try to fix it with the things available.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that is not available no
Yeah,
more. For example, the AC power supplies.
Yeah, power supplies. Yeah.
You don't find them,
Yeah.
but you need to. Okay, what do you do?
Yeah.
Now I found a way to put a better one
Yeah.
in case that you need to replace it.
Yeah.
In the rare case that you need to replace it. But there was a time that became a mixer with two transformers.
Yeah.
Because they had 36 volts, I guess. Was 280 volts transformers, one next to the other one, attached to the chassis. It was like, oh my god, what they do here?
Oh my
But
goodness.
they fix it. I mean, they make it work,
Yeah.
but it was not properly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they have a bus and things like that. It was a funny story, right?
How do you think Ureis came to Mexico? Right, because
In
I-
'83.
unless you've been to New York, and this is what I'm more interested to find out, is that flow of the equipment. You have a lot of the stuff that is coming back now. The original stuff, the DBX stuff that DJs like myself, or if you went to a club, is what you saw. That's what you were into, right? So. New York, New Jersey, Richard Long, these were staple mixers that they used in the disco setup.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you think that came here to Mexico?
It was very natural. Why? We're neighbors.
Yeah.
First of all, as countries. So everything at that time was not easy to find those kind of equipment here in stores. You need to how do you say when you los contrabandeas?
Like import export type of
Like
thing?
import,
Yeah.
but not legally.
I got you.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
You need to have a friend at the customs.
Oh,
You need to
wow,
find a friend.
okay,
You
yeah.
need to have contacts probably in Juarez,
Yeah.
or in California,
I got
or
it.
in
Another way
on
to
the
get them in
border, another
here.
way to get them here.
Got it.
But what happens? Big clubs that used to be very big clubs, they found a way to travel, and the DJs travel here. So there's this equipment, they're using this, they're using not just in audio, in lights, in
Yeah.
fixtures
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that went to Europe to find the way to get the Quemar, for example, or I don't remember other brands from Europe. Clay Packy, maybe.
Yeah.
There was a brands from the light fixtures at that time, and we're talking about 50 years ago, and 40. So we're neighbors. So the big clubs and important clubs start bringing those equipments, the Crown amplifiers, the Macintosh amplifiers, and a lot of brands, or Urei, the Bosaks.
Bosaks,
The first Bosak came here the same year that came out in the States.
Yeah.
It was the first place, I think, was Tequila Go-Go, if I'm not wrong, or Baby O. Was Tequila Go-Go, because Baby O was a very important disco, even...
Is that here in Ciudad de
no,
Mexico?
it's in Acapulco.
Acapulco.
Still in Acapulco,
Oh, wow.
because it has been gone. It opens in December '76.
Oh, wow.
They
okay.
already opened with the Bosak, and they have Thorens. They have
Yeah.
TD 125, and but at that time there was a place before was the name Tequila Go Go. They already had a Bozak.
Okay.
And there's the nightclubbing discotheque as we know it, like back in the day,
Yeah.
start not in Mexico, start in Acapulco,
Okay.
right? So from Acapulco start spreading everywhere,
Yeah.
right? But the first mixers, I think, became the same year.
Wow.
In the case with the Urei mixer, at that time in '82, everything was developed as clubs and discotheques, and there's a lot of places when you find Bozaks.
Yeah.
So the natural replacement was the Urei.
Yeah.
So I think in '83,
Wow.
everybody started knowing, not having, but knowing about the Urei.
About the brand.
And was very, very common. You find it in record stores. You find them in every club. Every club was like a standard.
Wow.
It was like
Yeah.
a Big Mac. You find it everywhere, right? And well, not the DBXs,
Right.
probably not the Dorogs,
Yeah.
not the expanders,
Yeah.
not probably. There was a lot of equipment that I remember that was very, very common to find them. The Yamaha 31 band equalizer was not my favorite. The Clark Techniques equalizers, the Ashley crossovers,
Ashleys,
the
yeah,
Urei
yeah,
crossovers
yeah,
was
yeah,
very
yeah.
common to find them.
Wow.
Even equalizer from Urei, you
Yeah.
can find them in clubs
Yeah. Wow.
because they rather prefer to buy the same brand because
Yeah.
they know it was good.
it's well
Even the
built.
mobile
Yeah.
sounds, even the famous mobile sounds. There was a mobile sound here. The name was Polymarch. And the equipment was everything Urei.
Wow.
Well, we're talking about 86,
Wow.
86, 87, because, well, at the end, we're a third world country, sad
Yeah.
to say, but, well, everything came later.
Yeah, of course.
And it was more later at that time, even movies.
Yeah.
You have a movie running in September. It takes like 3 months to get
Yeah.
here,
Wow.
or to get here. So it was okay. Nowadays it's very different.
Yeah. It's
because
faster.
internet, everything
yeah,
is
of course.
immediate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like for example, we're talking about 1 week before the iPhone 16 came up. I mean,
Yeah.
people in every part of the world can watch it live.
Yeah.
And in 1984, that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So time changes.
Quick question for you. You hit two important points.
Yeah.
You told me that you did go to New York. You went to places like Sound Factory Bar. Were the nightclubs in Acapulco, and as they moved towards the city, were they set up almost the same?
Yeah.
With the big Levan horns, or were they a little bit smaller? In
We're not so custom.
Yep.
Because you need to know Richard or
Yeah.
build them and travel to. But there were like substitutes. At that time, there was a lot of JBL stuff here. JBL was a brand that you can find it because they have dealership here.
Oh, okay.
And we're talking about 80s,
80s.
late 80s, early 90s. So you can find JBL, you can find Eastern Acoustics,
Yep.
you can find Community. Those
yeah.
speakers were very
Yeah.
good. You can find Mayer sounds.
Oh wow.
Even Mayer sound that is not designed for clubs
Yeah.
because they have a long range, like a
Throw. Long throw.
a
Yeah.
long range throw
Yeah.
for probably stadiums or stuff
Yes,
like that.
Yes.
The Azteca Stadium, the Aztec Stadium is very famous. 110,000 people can fit there.
Wow.
They have Mayer sound,
Wow. Wow.
and they have at the center.
Yeah.
So it's like a principle for
Yeah.
from the places that they have very bad acoustics.
Yeah.
There's a story with Alex Rosner that they put that thing at the Hilton
Wow.
ballroom
Uh-huh.
at the middle
Wow.
with all speakers at the middle of the dance floor
Wow.
because if they played it on the corners, it would
Yeah.
sound terrible.
Yeah.
Oh well, the same principle applies on the stadiums, on every stadium.
Wow.
Well, that thing, Mayer sound, you can find them, and was very similar. The setup, the DJ booths were, I think, even bigger here.
Wow.
Yeah, because they have like the audio section
Yeah.
It's not as big as the Palladium DJ booth.
Yeah.
They have the video section at
Yeah.
the
At the
bottom,
end, yeah.
and they have the DJ and the lights,
lights,
at the entrance.
Yeah.
But they are big. Probably
Wow.
2 modules of the Palladium. It was the
Wow.
DJ booths on all
Wow.
the big clubs.
That's awesome.
And they're nice, and they were very nice because they have a lot of fixtures and a lot of lighting and video also.
Nice, yeah.
So we're not very far from
Yeah,
what's
you were
going
behind,
on,
yeah.
but the technology was not as new.
Mhm.
But we have the basic principles.
Yeah, because also like what I've seen in videos and from what I know, I mean, Mexico, with everything that they do outdoors, they take sound very serious. There's some companies that when they do the outdoor events, you know, they're bringing in racks. They seem to know exactly what to do
Yeah.
audio wise. They really take that into consideration.
When we talking about outdoors, not clubs anymore.
No.
Anymore, that doesn't happen no more.
Yeah.
Because they more focus on the liquor,
Yeah.
on how it looks.
Yeah.
But the DJ is always at the end.
Yeah. of
Sad
course.
to say, because it's very important for them, but it's not important because they don't provide the equipment,
Yeah.
the necessary equipment. Besides, now all the DJs, each DJ have his own thing.
Of course.
Oh, I need a rotary. Oh, I need a slider. Oh, I need a battle. Oh, I need the turntables. I don't use turntables. Oh, so
There's a lot of that here?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so each DJ have a different point of view.
Yeah.
And most of the newcomer DJs or the newer DJs, they're very afraid to play with turntables, for example,
of
or
course.
they don't have vinyl.
Yeah.
So they're more into digital. It's okay. The things are going like that.
Yeah, the controllers
But after
here.
after that stage,
Mhm.
the DJ, but the sound system, they're very rare that they invest money in a sound system because most of the clubs are the small clubs now. But there is no big clubs like
Yeah.
back then. So those ones are not longer profitable.
Profitable. Yeah.
Probably they will last 2 years,
Yeah.
3 years.
Wow.
And after that, bye-bye. There's another thing.
Yeah.
So at the end, they start playing like every cantina and reggaeton and
Everything.
everything. So there's no personality in the place.
Yeah.
That it used to be
Yeah.
because at the 80s and the early 90s, there was a lot of clubs. There was a club that plays a lot of techno.
Disco.
There's a place that play, probably commercial, mainstream music, but they have very personal style because there was a DJ, a resident DJ.
Yeah.
And that thing was not happening in New York, just at the beginning,
Correct.
but not later. Later, a lot of DJs were playing in lots of clubs.
Absolutely.
But at the beginning, for example, who was the DJ at the garage? Well,
Right.
Larry
Yeah.
or David,
Yeah.
the Pino, or who was the DJ at the Red Zone?
Yeah.
Dave Morales.
Yeah.
All right. So would they have the residency?
Yeah, of course.
Or Jelly Bean at the
Yeah.
Funhouse.
Yeah.
There were guest DJs. It's
Yeah.
okay, but it used to be the same
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
here
yeah.
in the 90s
Mhm.
because I used to work a lot in clubs and I was the resident DJ. I need to go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and 3 days. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was normal. It was the standard. Right?
Yeah. Wow.
That's how it happens.
So, thank you for giving us that background. So, as you got more and more into this, I'm sure, just like in New York, right, the digital world came, and a lot of the stuff I saw being very sold for cheap at some points. People didn't want to have their records anymore. It was carrying
Exactly.
too much space. People didn't want to carry the 18-inch subs anymore, right? Those days were gone because I remember with my brother and his crew back in the day, we used to have earthquake speakers.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
With
And
big
used to-
cabinets.
we used to carry them upstairs and bring them down at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. 4 or
it's
5
like,
guys.
Yeah, it's like we said, I like hiking.
Yeah.
I go to the mountains and everything. And the gear at that time was very heavy.
Yeah,
I mean, the
absolutely.
backpacks, they have tubes and stuff like that. Nowadays, technology makes things easier, lighter.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound the same
Absolutely.
because there's a sacrifice, I think.
Yeah.
Those big cabinets, you found them in probably mobile sounds
Yeah.
and those Jamaican
Yes.
mobile
Yes.
sound that they
yeah.
have. They have a 300-watt amplifier that sounds terrific with those
Yeah.
big cabinets,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Or 400-watt amplifiers. Nowadays, you have those 2,000 amplifiers, watts amplifier that delivers a lot of juice, but you don't have speakers. The cabinets, not
Yeah.
speakers, the cabinets to move them, right?
Absolutely.
It changed. Technology changed with digital, also the same.
Yeah.
They don't want to.
Yeah.
It's more comfortable with
With a USB.
with
yeah.
this thing,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I do it, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
I'm not fight against that.
Right.
Against that. Sorry. I think digital is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. I love Ableton. I love because I do a lot of remix and
edits.
re-edits
Yeah.
and reworks with the classics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You find those
Yeah.
stamps and stuff like that. But I also like the old school way,
vinyl, yeah.
the vinyl, because it sounds. I know how it sounds.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody can tell me. I
Right,
know how it
exactly.
sounds.
You were there, you lived it, you experienced it all. And I think that's the beauty. And unfortunately, the younger DJs that are kind of going in through the digital world, they will never have that experience. It's very difficult for them. Like we were talking about the DBX boombox, right?
Yeah.
Like unless you were at a club and unless you actually saw someone, in reference to Zanzibar, actually press that button for that boombox to go on, you wouldn't know what it really does in that room.
For example, you mentioned that. I'm curious about it because the way I work the boombox, it's always on.
Yeah.
Not use it, but it's always on. But if you told me that sometimes they have the record without the process
Off.
and
Yes.
suddenly probably
Yes.
Tony Humphries
Yeah.
suddenly
Yeah.
break it,
Pushes it on, powers it on, yeah.
powers on. You have that
Yes.
reaction.
Oh,
And that's
my God.
nice
Yeah.
because you work the crossover.
Yeah.
You can enhance parts and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But you just boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's normal. I mean, I don't blame the kids.
Yes.
Nowadays, I don't blame them because there's no it's not a duty for them to know that.
Okay.
It's sad, but because I witness it, and I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm not a very
Stuck in the past.
stuck in the past guy
Yeah.
that, oh my God,
You have to,
I don't
yeah.
understand how to press that button. I don't know. I don't know how to put a USB.
Yeah.
I don't know how to turn on a computer. I know DJs and I know people that they're like that.
Absolutely.
They don't
Shelter
they have
themselves
issues
into this.
with
Yes.
technology.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
They have issues with set up an iCloud account,
Yeah.
for example, stuff like that. I'm not, but I'm in the middle in that transition. I take the best from both.
Yeah.
Right.
That's great. That's great. So, do you see now that things? Because we see it happening now in New Jersey, for instance, the outdoor events that are happening. There's guys that are bringing in the full Levan horns, full 4 or 5 corners now.
There's a lot of people
you
doing
know?
that. Yeah, I know. There's I think in the Shorty.
Yeah, Shorty does that.
Craig Bernabe.
Yeah.
Bernabe, he's doing that with the Kong
Yeah.
system that he builds.
Yeah.
And this guy that has been working
Mm-hmm.
and working all the time. It's very funny because he always asks wave files. I think
Wave
that
files,
his
yes,
entire
yes,
collection
yes.
was made from
Wave.
donations.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Do you see that happening here though? Do you? Or
No.
Do you? Okay, let me. Not to that extent, but do you see people searching for the old equipment? Do you see that need to say, you know what? Yeah, I want a Urei. I want to.
there's some people that likes it
Okay.
because there's a comeback.
Yeah, the
like
comeback.
everything.
Yep.
With vinyl, there was a comeback. With the rotaries,
Yeah.
with the rotaries mixer, it was a comeback. It's difficult for them to place them because they're not practical.
Yes.
Urei mixer is for a permanent
Yeah,
installation.
absolutely.
I guess, and sometimes they found it difficult. But there's people that they like it and they looking for it. And they as the same as they look for old Macintosh amplifiers,
Yes,
maybe,
yes.
or those big, not subwoofers cabinets, but they're those like the big JBL Urei monitors.
Yeah.
They're looking
like
for
the
that,
studio monitors.
like
once.
studio
Yeah,
monitors
yeah.
used to be very
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
And it was a very funny story because here at Polygram Records here in Mexico, the studios, they have those Urei monitors.
Monitors, yeah.
And they have obviously the NS10. They have no, I don't remember. There was another ones, not Genelec, but it was another ones, and was very funny because the engineers, the people that do probably some mastering and some works there at the studio, they never use them.
Wow.
You know why they use them for? When the artists show up.
Oh, wow.
So, okay, let's crank it up. So he or she listen to her final product very loud.
Yeah.
So, oh, wow, sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But they never used to work with
actually,
them.
to
Yeah,
do the
they
work.
never worked with
Wow.
them. They were just working with the NS10.
So it was a show.
Or the Oratones.
The Oratons.
They was working with the small ones because they don't need more. Just was to, to flash.
To flash, exactly. To
You
put the
know?
show on for
Yeah,
Wow.
for the artists.
For the artist.
At that
exactly.
time, we're talking about Daniela Romo. We're
Wow.
talking about maybe Urei
Oh, wow.
and all those
Yeah,
artists
yeah,
that
yeah,
work
yeah,
at that
yeah,
time
yeah.
at Polygram. We were talking about the 80s.
Yeah.
Because I was a friend of mine, the engineer who worked with all of them
Oh, wow.
in the 80s.
Wow, that's a great story. Wow, but you would think. I mean, I would turn them on every second that I possibly could if I had the opportunity to.
No, they have they have 4 amplifiers for that. I think they were like BMG. I don't remember the brand that they have. I don't remember even the name of the brand, but they were like they have 3 letters. I don't remember. They're vintage, and they have a PSA2 amplifier.
Wow, PSA2s.
I think they were for the
those.
big drives,
Yeah,
the big speakers.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. But definitely the comeback, and I'm sure you're in the business. You've seen some of the prices that now have been put on the Urei, right? Before, I think I bought mine for $700. I think back in the day, and I remember with my friend Rich, we went to find one. It was listed in the newspaper, actually, in the want ads, and it was a rock group that used to use them to
like a small console?
Like a small console, probably about
console.
five of them, right? And they used to put their instruments through it and use them like a crossovers, the Ureis as crossovers. So I went in one day, and because they put the ad up, they're like, sell Ureis. And the guy brought in a rack. He reeled in a rack. They had 6 Ureis, and he's like, okay, which one you want? They're all for sale. And at that time, like I said, I was like, okay, the middle one. And he was like, yeah, give me $700. And now, you find them for $3,000, $4,000, $2,500 seems to be a standard. You don't know what condition they might be. A lot of people don't really even know, right? I feel that there's a lot of people that are just buying because this is what they see in consoles. This is what they're seeing other older DJs using.
They saw a documentary and I want one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just becomes the need. Okay, that looks cool. I like it. I want it. But for me, I got to say it's a sentimental factor that it was my very first mixer. And I automatically just fell in love with the feel of the mixer, right? And this is not to say Urei is the best versus Bosec. It's a personal feel for me that I just always loved the sound of the Urei. I love the way the Urei just allows you to mix. I played on Bosec before, but my preference is the Urei. If you love the Bosec, if you just want to have a rotary, please feel free to go out and shop which whatever brand you want, because I know that there's a lot of discussions. You have the diehards, right? Bosec only, or Urei only?
Or Urei only. I mean, in fact, the Dr. Urei, I love more the Bosec sound.
You okay?
Yeah, because there's a discrete circuitry inside.
Right.
It sounds very different. They don't sound the same.
Yep.
But one thing that I don't like about the Ureis, it's the tones, the treble and the bass. They're not as sweet.
They're not as clean.
Not as clean.
Yep.
And there's a very, very, very nice curve on the bass of the Bosec. Especially when you turn on the bass on the Bosec, it sounds so beautiful. And with the Urei, not. The Urei just gives you bass. And that's it. But this one, like, they have his magic.
Yeah.
And probably those all components
Yeah.
All in conjunction brings that.
Absolutely.
I don't like the sound output of the Bozak.
Right.
It's more weak. I like hot signal like
That's
the
what I'm
Urei.
saying.
I
Exactly.
love
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
transformers.
Yeah.
How make it sound, even
Yeah.
have that harmonic distortion at the low end that make the magic.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what makes the magic of the Urei. And well, obviously, there's a lot of people think about it. You have booth
Yeah. Exactly.
volume,
Yeah.
and with the Bobsack, certain models have
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Or you can add yours.
Yeah.
For example, I got a Bobsack that I just take out the power on off, and I just put there another knob and another card to make the booth.
Wow.
It's possible to do it because
Wow.
there's slots available
Right,
inside.
inside,
But-
And you get the but
Yeah.
but this is a great conversation, because for someone that's just buying it for the name, if you have the money and that's what you feel like doing, that's fine. But this is an educated conversation to pinpoint the differences, the good and the bad
Exactly.
of each one, and make a personal decision on it. I personally just love the warmness, the strong signal of the Urei
Yeah.
versus the Bozak,
because it's strong but not distorted.
not distorted.
That's very very.
Absolutely.
For example, there's a lot of people that have issues. For example, with a very classic mixer that I love it too, but it's very weak. His output signal, the Zone 92, the Allen and Heath.
So, yeah.
I love the sound.
Yeah.
It's very clean. It's very natural.
Yeah.
I love it, but the signal level is very low
Low.
at the
the
output.
gain,
I
yeah.
remember. I used to work at a club here in Mexico. It was a very big club. It was. The name was Box, BOX, and was a gay club. Only open on Saturdays. It was packed, like 3,000 people. Right. So one day I took my Urei. Instead, we have a Pioneer, and at some point it fails, and sound guys there bring a Zone 92, and they adjust everything
Wow.
to make it sounds good with the Zone 92. Yeah. So it sounds good, but one day I bring the Urei just for
Just to see it.
to enjoy it.
Yeah.
The Urei there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What a difference.
I was like 7 on the volume channel, and in the master I was at 4 or 5.
Wow.
And it already sound very loud. I need
Wow.
to talk to the guy. Hey, I will tweak a
Tweak it,
little.
yeah.
I will tweak a little your input of the equalizer, because it's very. It happens that he was very
Low?
very very high at the signals
Oh, okay.
to match with the zone.
Oh, okay.
So I just turn it down.
Yeah.
The output signals of the equalizer.
Yeah.
I remember was Yamaha. I don't remember what each one. Need to turn down. Check that everything was not in red. Okay, 7, 8, 7, 8. Okay, it's fine there.
Wow.
At the end of the night, I need to go back and
reboost
put
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
reboost everything. Exactly, because it was very, very hot signal that
Yeah.
delivers the Urei.
Wow.
But it was very clean.
Yeah.
In fact, I sell a mixer to a friend, and it was the record store, Sergio's record store,
Yeah.
and they have a sound mixer, a small sound mixer. When I bring
Zone,
the Urei,
yeah.
sounds very different. It was small speakers.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
talking about small Technic speakers. It sounds
Yeah.
very different.
Yeah.
Not more volume, not more. No, it sounds different.
Yeah, it does.
Clean,
It does.
clean.
It does. Yeah.
And the guy was there. Was like, oh my god, that mixer sounds very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds very beautiful because it have nothing that I don't
That
know. I don't know how to
interferes
say it.
with the signal.
Yeah, it's how it's supposed to sound.
Exactly.
Period.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about Urei's, big shout out to again the New Jersey guys.
Oh, yeah.
they talk highly about you and your work. You know, the sound cards that you make and you offer.
Vance and Greg.
Tell us a little bit about what you do offer and where they can find you, reach you. What you
Yeah.
offer.
Obviously, for people outside Mexico, it's complicated
Yep.
to do a repair with me. Sometimes I refer to people from U.S.
Yeah.
That's because the shipping and the risk.
Of course.
Because
Anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen, and there's very delicate equipment and very valuable
Yep.
for the owners. But also, I sell parts, knobs, my audio cards, my phono cards with better components than the original.
What do they do? So for people that
what I do is that I spend a lot of time research for better capacitors, better resistors, to make it sound better. And I discovered in all the hi-fi gear that they use certain brands. I was like, okay, let's try to put this into the cards.
Yeah.
Right. And that way it was possible to have a cleaner sound, not different sound, but cleaner. Like when you clean your frames. Oh, you just it looks better. Everywhere, everything looks better. That's what I do. When the other thing is that I start making those special cards for the line stage. That it's, for example, if you connect the CDJs, obviously everybody knows that the signal on the line
is different.
It's different. It's weak.
Absolutely.
Compared with the phono, right? So this one have trimmers, small trimmers on the card. You just place your card, you adjust it with screwdriver per channel, so you match the signal with the phono stage, and that way have the bigger sound. And also the components, it tends to sound more warm. More warm.
And that's interesting that you can do that to a line signal, right? Because there's always conversation about digital versus phono. The files that you're playing versus vinyl. It's great that now you have an alternative if you want to keep that warm sound that a Urei brings for vinyl and to a digital
and
form.
Also I was very happy because some friends from Greece. Nicholas, that he's a very a good friend of mine. I talk about those line cards, and there's some friends that he has that they purchase.
Nicholas, the guy he does the audio stuff out there in Greece, right? Is the same Nicholas you're talking about?
No, it's a guy that have a booth with Torrens also.
Oh, okay, yes. And, I've seen the Facebook.
And he referred me with some of his colleagues and friends.
Nice.
And they start, let's get a pair of those cards. And they always, when they do audio testings of gear, or they make custom modifications to mixers and stuff like that. And I think that they also do meters, and I don't remember right now, sorry. And they refer me all the time.
That's
with
awesome.
The audio cards from Dr. Urei.
That's awesome.
We're like, thank you. That helps me a lot.
Absolutely. But what else? Do you see yourself doing something more, or is it just the limit? Is there like an issue that, maybe you're limited to just doing that because of your concerns of the shipping, of the repairs? But do you offer more services here in Mexico for someone that has a Urei? Change the pots,
here in Mexico, a lot of people, a lot of customers came here just for the fact that they have a small issue with the headphone, and they don't know how to fix it. The headphone jack, it's gone, or just one side sounding, and I don't know what's going on. Sometimes they're so easy to fix that I fix it in the parking.
In the parking lot.
Just let me get a screwdriver. There you go. You can go. Wow. Hey, how much I owe you? Nothing. Just invite me to pizza
awesome.
Later.
Oh, that's awesome.
The pizza goes on you next time. So sometimes it's that way. There was a time when once upon a time a guy came and all the Urei, the motherboard had a hole.
Oh my goodness!
Like, where you were, Dan? You get that?
Yeah.
All right. So I need to do the whole motherboard.
Oh wow!
It cost me 4 months to do that.
Wow.
It was very challenging, and but it was fixed. That was the worst case scenario.
Got it.
Most of the times they just need aesthetical.
Yeah, some fine tuning.
Inside, everything's fine.
Yeah.
So I just suggest, let me do a recap.
Yeah.
To
clean everything.
Yeah, clean everything. Do a recap. Change a lot of components to make it sound like it was out of the fabric.
Yeah. company,
yesterday.
yeah,
Of
of
the
course.
company,
Yeah.
because all the Ureis right now doesn't sound. If you don't do nothing to the internal parts,
Yeah.
all the Ureis now they don't sound like they used to
They
when
used
they
to.
come out from
Yeah.
the factory.
Yeah.
Because the age,
Yeah.
the
Wear and
components,
tear, yeah.
they have a life of the life of a capacitor or resistor is like 20 years.
Yeah. Wow.
And all those mixers have more than 35 years.
Absolutely.
So it's natural.
Yeah.
It's natural
Yeah.
with all gear.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about
Yeah,
all
yeah,
gear.
of course.
Bozak is worst
Oh, wow.
because they're older.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you need to do a recap.
do you also do Bozaks or strictly?
No,
Urei?
strictly Urei.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good to know.
Bozak is. I don't have it's very complicated here
Okay.
to find
For parts
A lot
and
of parts
everything
for
else.
the Bozak. Yeah,
That's awesome.
but it was very nice that they still having Bozaks for sale, right?
Yes, I've seen a lot.
What's the name of this Japanese guy that is like the vehicle through Rudy Bozak? There's a guy from, I think he's from Japan because he's a Japanese name, that you find on Facebook. Hey, there's a we just sold this custom Bozak.
Oh, wow.
But there's Bozaks. We're talking about those Bozak, rare Bozak that
Yeah.
came like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
No. We're talking about originals.
Wow.
That you can buy for like new ones.
Well,
That's good.
I mean, Japan, that's another market that's always on top of
I remember his name.
all of their
Sorry.
stuff. But, I mean, the Alpha recordings, all of that stuff that they're coming out with out there themselves. They have the ear to not so much mimic, but also take it to the next level on a lot of the enhancements that they do. A lot of companies out there have
Yeah, Alpha.
rework Alpha, exactly.
Alpha for me is the best option if you want to find something different
Right.
in design and layout, but
Yeah.
that sound like a Urei.
Yeah.
Because they, as far as I know, they were that company before Alpha Recordings. They used to fix and give maintenance to the Ureis in
Ureis,
Japan,
yeah.
and there's something going on with the Japanese guys that they love Ureis.
Absolutely.
And I can say, and I'm very happy that most of my customers are from Japan.
That's awesome. That's great. That's great.
And I love them. They're really nice guys, and we sometimes when we have the chance to talk, because they don't talk too much,
Yep.
but they're very, very, very cool, and those guys know a lot about equipment,
Absolutely.
and I love them because they make a lot of reverence to Urei somehow.
Yeah. Well, the
It's
quality.
a cult thing.
Yes,
there.
the cult is growing. I mean, I'm pleased to see that it's growing globally and continues to have that. And to a lot of people, it's still that passion and what they want for it.
it's
And
amazing.
Japanese have that ear to know the quality and what it is. I mean, some of the needles from the Japanese guys, it's quality stuff.
Oh, yeah, those
that's
guys,
a different story, but
there's a whole different animal.
Yeah,
with that.
absolutely.
It's very, very, very. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
It's amazing. I mean, those guys know what they're doing,
Absolutely, excellent.
and
Absolutely.
I'm amazed. But that's the reason that I feel, very honored to
exactly.
because those are not easy customers. If you don't
Absolutely.
do something in quality,
Mm-hmm.
they just don't look
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
Like they go with another one.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
I'm very happy with that.
We can talk for hours, Yaxkin, but I just want to thank you. How do people reach out to you if they're interested in getting a little bit more about what you offer? As far
Yeah,
as
sure. The Instagram, you can find everything I do in Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
It's Dr. Urei 1620. I don't know if you can add it. On
Yeah,
the
yeah, no
links
worries.
and,
Yeah.
yeah. It's Dr. Urei, and obviously, well, I'm here in Mexico City, but sometimes I, ship stuff like that, like audio, like the photo cards, line cards, knobs.
Yeah.
Right, and the input panels, the RCAs.
Oh, yes. I've actually seen that from you lately. Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
the
you're shipping
RCA,
that
the
too.
input
Yeah.
panel.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Urei, the original layout of the Urei is very ugly.
Yeah.
And it's not as good.
Yeah. And it rusts really bad. It's really
Yeah.
bad.
There's ¿cómo se dice? Tendón de Aquiles.
Yeah, the Achilles 10. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a failure.
That's one of their big things.
The big things that the Urei
Yeah,
say,
fails.
Urei,
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
going on?
Yeah. Is the art? Yeah, absolutely.
The RCA panel.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
So I make a new one, better,
Mm-hmm.
better layout for
Yeah.
electronics even,
Yeah.
and with stronger RCAs.
Yeah. Hold on.
So because it's very bad, but we have it, and it's not expensive. It's not as expensive as one thing.
That's awesome.
Because I found that the regular mail from the U.S.
Yeah.
from Mexico to U.S. Always it's good.
Yeah.
It's very very cheap.
Yeah.
Sometimes people say, "Oh, I need to go with FedEx or I need to go
Yes.
with other brand like DHL." And
Yeah.
No.
Regular.
Regular mail take like 2 weeks.
Okay. That's good.
It
So if you're
works.
not in a rush,
I never had an issue with
that's
with,
awesome.
with
That's
the
awesome.
shipping.
What's next for you, Yaxkin? What do you see yourself
Well,
in?
I don't have any idea.
Okay.
What's next? I think I'm very constant. I'm still
Yeah.
working with the Ureis, and I'm still as a DJ working, and I don't know. I'm not very looking forward to the future.
Okay.
I'll just live the present,
Mhm.
and I move with a. I'm in the wave. I just
Yeah.
move with the wave.
Yeah.
And what I want to do, it's probably I went more trying to find lost pieces of the Urei, because there's pieces that are very hard to find.
Absolutely.
So I think this is it, and also all the layout inside the Urei probably modified and make a different kind of Urei.
Okay.
Similar with Alpha recording
Yeah.
does, or what?
Yeah.
What's the name of this guy? David Mesa.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
Yes. David Mesa.
He showed up.
Oh, wow.
Recently.
'Cause he's been
out
away for a while.
Yeah, and he asked me
Okay.
like 1 week ago. We're like, what?
Wow.
Okay. I don't know about him, what's going on right now with him, what he's doing right now, but he showed up. I
good.
think that, he was like in the Twilight Zone thing. But well, I'm happy with that, and he was doing a lot of mods
Absolutely.
for that, so probably we'll start doing that kind of things. But I'm not in a rush,
That's good.
because even that I have a lot of Ureis from Mexico here, because it used to be a lot of Ureis here. There is not so many work to do with the Ureis here.
Yeah.
It can spend like 3-4 months without a Urei here to fix.
Oh, wow.
But sometimes they came like suddenly there's 2 here
Wow.
to repair, or
Yeah.
or suddenly somebody types it, hey, how much for the knobs, or how much I just want tone knobs, or I just want the caps, or I just want this, or blah, 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 or the faceplate.
Right. Yeah, that's the one thing that I've seen you do now, right? Faceplates. But I mean, that's great stuff. I wish you lots of luck, Yaxkin.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to finally, meet in physical form than just Facebook.
Yeah. And you will have fun here in Mexico.
I mean, like I said, we have a few more stores to go, but just the vibe, the energy that's here, I love. And
Thank you. Thank you.
For me, my wife, we're enjoying the food, we're enjoying the sceneries. So we have a few more days here, but you were definitely on my list to finally sit down and meet and talk a little bit more. So thank you so much for your time, Yaxkin.
No, thanks to you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks to you. Appreciate the time that you spend. You will have a blast here in Mexico. Obviously, I will recommend you places with food. How many days you will stay?
Until mid of next week. So Wednesday we leave.
Okay, I need to show you some places. They're not in the commercial areas. They're not in the tourist areas. You need to go in the hood. All right?
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you guys once again. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video. If you have any questions for Yaxkin, send them on Instagram directly. Great guy.
Se habla español.
Yeah, absolutely. Se habla español, among other languages, but we speak the language of Urei, the Urei language,
The Urei
right?
language, yeah.
So thank you guys
Nice.
once again, and we'll continue with our trip here and showing you everything that I find in Mexico. The stores, the record stores are really beautiful. Some stores are just amazing. They kick anyone else's setup around the world with no problem. I personally love them. So I'm great to see the music just traveling, right? Because it's about also the music and how wonderful it is to come across an album here that I've been searching for in the States, and it's like, oh my God, I would
Not as
never guessed.
expensive.
not as expensive. Absolutely.
Yeah, the rare obscure funk
Yeah.
thing, they're not very expensive because not all people
Not
is
a lot of
looking
people
for it.
looking. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The common stuff, yeah, I can see, prices are a little bit, but I'll do a different segment as far as, what I see price range for vinyl itself being out of in a few countries now and comparing it to the States. But thank you once again for checking out the video, and see you guys very soon.